Pittsburgh Steelers have some shocking free agency updates as they look to sign a number two receiver in the 2025 offseason. My name is Peyton Kleppy. Real quick, if you guys haven't subscribed, just click that subscribe button down below so you're going to help me grow this channel moving forward. Let's get right into it. So first of all, some shocking free agency news that has recently come out. The Pittsburgh Steelers are very interested in wide receiver T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a dog, if you guys don't know. He's been in Cincinnati his whole career. I believe he played college at Clemson. I believe with Deshaun Watson the year he won the championship. But he's been a dog ever since he's been in Cincinnati. He has had a great quarterback throughout his whole career in Cincinnati in Joe Burrow. So that definitely helps a receiver develop and grow. And that's something we do not have in Pittsburgh, sadly. But T. Higgins has shown that he's a capable player. I believe even when Joe Burrow was hurt and the Bengals had Jeff Driscoll in there and a few different guys, he still played really well. He still had a few great performances. And you guys got to believe, or you guys got to realize that this guy is the number two option on a great offense. You know, he's really overshadowed by a guy like Jamar Chase, who's he's getting 100 catches a year. He's getting 1,500 receiving yards a year, 10 plus touchdowns. So the ball is really going to his hand most of the time, and it really leaves T. Higgins out. But if we complemented T. Higgins with a guy like George Pickens, 6'4", dog, deep threat, vertical receivers, it's going to be really tough for defenses to cover them both. Excuse me. And to pair that with, if we do decide to bring back Mike Williams, I believe there's a report that the Steelers are expected to bring him back as well. That adds a lot of depth at receiver for us and really shores off a position that, going into this year, we were really unsure about. When we traded Deontay Johnson, it left a lot of room in the wide receiver room, and it left a lot of questions to see if we could succeed without a number two. At the beginning of the season, we had some success in the run game, and GP was making some great plays, but we really didn't have a solid number two. Van Jefferson, I'm sorry, but he is not a good receiver. He's good backup, but that dude dropped probably about 10 passes this year. It was ridiculous. He dropped them when they mattered too. So I would not want to see him back in the game next year. So if we did sign T. Higgins, it would really help us, and it would really shore off the wide receiver position for us. So there's been a lot of reports that the Steelers are actually very interested in the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers are very interested in T. Higgins. In the past, most of the time, Steelers do not make big splash plays, but with the arrival of the con artist Omar, he's made a lot of great options, made a lot of great moves, including signing Patrick Queen and a lot of different shocking moves during the offseason that Kevin Colbert did not do before. So I really think it's a possibility the Steelers could bring in T. Higgins, at least for a visit, maybe try to lock him down there, try to give him a boatload of money. As you guys know, last offseason we were looking to trade for Brandon Ayuk. There was a lot of different rumors about that where people were posting pictures of him and Coach Tomlin saying they looked the same, they looked like brothers, and it was really real news that the Steelers were very interested in Brandon Ayuk at the moment. But we weren't able to secure the bag. We were not able to secure the trade, and he re-signed with the 49ers for a boatload of money. But unfortunately, he did get hurt this year, so I'm kind of glad the Steelers did not pull the trigger on him. So, but I'd love T. Higgins. He's a dog. In this graphic, somebody gave him number 5. I believe that would be tough for him. I love number 5. It's one of my favorite numbers. But yeah, him and George Pickens at receiver, and you keep we're going to keep probably Jalen Warren, so you got that speed back. We get a pretty good offensive line that's going to develop. It really got some questions at the quarterback, though, but having T. Higgins would kind of help out which quarterback, whoever we decide to sign, definitely a lot because he's a guy that no matter what quarterback, he's going to make a lot of different plays. He's going to have a lot of catches, a lot of success. I believe he had to play with Jeff Driscoll after Joe Burrow got hurt. Like, if you guys don't remember, Joe Burrow has been hurt 3 years where he's been out for half the season or the whole season. So this guy has definitely had to play with a lot of not so good quarterbacks, a lot of mid quarterbacks. So he still put up numbers. He's like a DeAndre Hopkins. But if you look at his stats for this season, actually, He only appeared in 12 games, so he did miss, what is that, 5 games. He had 109 targets in those 12 games, 73 receptions. He had 10 touchdowns, 911 yards, and he had 48 first downs, which that's a stat that not a lot of people take into consideration, but it is a big statistic. When it's second and short, or if it's third and one, or not third and one, third and long, and you need a real sure receiver. You need a guy who's going to catch the rock and make sure you pick up that first down. You can look for a guy like T. Higgins, and that's something that the Steelers have not had since, I'd probably say, Antonio Brown or Heath Miller. We've really not had a safety net guy where we could throw to, who they're not going to drop the ball, and we can really rely on them. Because George Pickens, he's great. He's a great deep ball receiver, but as we saw in the collapse at the end of last season, he definitely can let his attitude get to him, or he can definitely let his attitude get in the way of his performance, because that was rough at the end of the season where Russ was chucking up that moon ball and GP was just not coming down with any of them. It was either a catch, not a catch, an incompletion, or an interception. It was really, really not cool to watch. So if we bring in a guy like T. Higgins, it would open up plays like that for both guys. We bought in Mike Williams and thought he could be a guy that T. Higgins would be. And he had some success. He had a few great catches. He had that nice touchdown against the Commanders. But he is still an old guy, and we'd probably just bring him back, probably on a veteran minimum, for just some depth, because I don't know how great he would be as our solid number 2 receiver going into next year, especially with the questions at quarterback. It's going to be real tough to have a 31, 32-year-old Mike Williams as your number 2 receiver. But anyways, T. Higgins, Mike Tomlin's called this guy a goon in the past. They're very interested in him. He is a guy that if we sign him, he's still in his prime. He's got a lot of years left, and he could really help this team out, because that number 2 receiver position has not been solid for a while, since Deontay Johnson, who even him, his last season with us, he had his struggles. So I'd probably say the last time we've had a solid 2 wide receiver core was probably with Juju Smith-Schuster and Antonio Brown back in 2018. So if the Steelers can make this move, they can give T. Higgins that blank check and give him a ton of money and bring him to our team. I really think it would really help us moving forward, and maybe just get over that playoff hump and get to that second round, maybe third round of the playoffs, maybe a conference championship, hell, maybe even a Super Bowl. That's all I got for you guys today. This has been Steelers Digest. My name is Peyton Kleppe. Thanks for everything. Here we go, Steelers. Let's ride. Thanks so much.